Hello everyone, the MLG Skylander Man 360 here today, and today we are reacting to Goliath versus Darkwing Duck. I actually don't know much about Darkwing Duck, so I can't really say much on his part because, while yes, I did see him in probably DuckTales, I just don't know that character too well. And with Goliath, which is a character I can say on, I do remember the fact when I first watched Goliath, or well, watched Gargoyles in that case. It to me it felt like an interesting show, and I kind of got myself invested to where I learned about it. For instance, with the gargoyles, yes, they were turned to stone, and the only way to get them out of that state, that basically was like their whole cast spelled on them, basically to wait years, but it had to be placed up on a high point of the above the clouds to be freed. Another thing about it is what they did before. Back then in the old days, they protect a castle. And now I don't know the history from what I saw in the show. I remember humans and the gargoyles basically had a mutual bond, but there was going to be a break between the two, and then that's when they got casted into a statue. And after that point, some rich billionaire took the statues all the way top of the clouds, and yeah, they're free. Now, Goliath being a gargoyle, he for some reason, and I've always said this is so weird, so he can't fly, but he can glide. How does that work? You have wings on your back, but then I remember the thing about gargoyles is yes, they are really heavy hitters and carrying massive weight. Which I really say this. I feel like that would be the reason why they can only glide, because the amount of weight that these guys put on is impressive. Like, for instance, I've seen Goliath lift a car. I remember him managing to stop a train at one point. I mean, I really question, how does Darkwing Duck go against this character? But I'll have to see it to see where this goes. Anyway, enough of me yapping. Let's begin the reaction. Oh. Hold on my day. Eesh. Oh, Jesus. I had my phone saying no. Nope, not today. You're just going through all these medias.
Batman is a popular character, especially around the time of the Michael Keaton movies and the animated series. So, Disney noticed this and decided to take the premise and tone of it into different directions.
On one end, we have the more serious side of Batman, represented by gargoyles. And on the other side, representing the comedic Adam West style of Batman, is Darkwing Duck. So, we're going to take the main characters from these two shows and make them fight for justice or whatever.
Goliath, the leader of the clan of gargoyles now roaming modern-day Manhattan.
Darkwing Duck, the cloaked vigilante of St. Canard.
Alright.
In this episode, we will not be using the modern DuckTales version of Darkwing Duck, just the classic iteration and some side comics and games.
Okay.
Same with Goliath and gargoyles. Pretty much anything that doesn't contradict their old canons.
So, with these out of the way,
I don't think
I'm
gargoyles
Max,
can really
he's
be
Ducko.
contradicted
We're
from
gonna
their
take
old
these
canons
two Dark
because
Avengers of
there was only
the
ever one
afternoon
canon
and
for that
determine who
show.
will win.
Then again, I could be wrong. I've only ever seen one show of Goliath.
1,000 years ago,
I need to see
superstition
another
and the
iteration
sword
then.
ruled. It was a time of darkness. It was a world of fear. It was an age of gargoyles.
Yeah.
Wow, that is the intro, you're right.
Well, to expand upon it, Goliath and his clan helped protect the kingdoms of medieval Scotland in the year 994, coming alive from stone at night, and perching upon their castles as statues during the day. But due to mistrust and betrayal from the humans, they were cursed to never awake from their statue forms again until the castle rose above the clouds.
Yep.
Not to mention that a large portion of the gargoyles also got shattered in their sleep before that.
Oh, I forgot about that. I
It's
didn't
a
want
pretty
to say
specific
anything.
criteria to meet, but eventually some rich man named Xanatos made his building
Yeah, but as I said,
specifically
like a
so
rich
it would
man
rise
just
above
took
the
him to-
clouds, and he could reawaken the gargoyles.
There was much mistrust that soon developed between him and the clan of gargoyles, though, so they decided to break off for their own, living in the underground, hidden away from humanity aside from one human ally to help them initially get used to New York. A police officer named Elisa Maza. She helps them protect against a world that fears and doesn't understand them. So, in addition to some tonal similarities to the Batman animated series, there's some Ninja Turtles and X-Men in here as well. But they blend it all together in a fairly original way, I say.
Being that he has chosen to protect New York from whatever shows up, and given that he used to protect an entire kingdom, Goliath is supernaturally strong.
You would expect such fortitude from a being made of stone.
Well, I don't believe he's actually made of stone when he's awake. I don't know if he'd be able to glide then. But he's still got skin tougher than yours or mine. Goliath was able to toss a werewolf into a
man's
steel
like a
door
walking
hard enough to
tank.
dent it, and generally
when you
rips
think
through
about
metal
it.
with ease. He can also make like the Kool-Aid Man and bust down walls, either slamming people through them or just doing it of his own volition.
To prove that he can take on animate foes made of such material, he can break apart a robot with a steel beam, and can also break apart a comparable gargoyle made of solid rock. He also has intense endurance, surviving stabbing, explosions from oil fires and grenades, lasers, lightning, and even an anti-aircraft shot.
He can also fight toe-to-toe with his evil clone, who I would have preferred had a mustache, but he does not. Phylog, who I'm sure
I wouldn't say
comes from
mustache. I would say
Earwog.
more of a beard, honestly.
Plus, with those
That's
wings
just me.
and his general physicality, he can get out of the way of things pretty fast, like gunfire, lasers, and even magically summoned lightning. He can also keep up with pretty much any vehicle you ever see on the show while gliding.
It's basically established that gargoyles are much stronger than normal humans, and they're better than you. I mean, they can even fly!
Technically, it's gliding. I'm a duck. I can fly.
I can't fly. I can only glide on currents of wind.
Goliath is a fucking liar. Look at him go up into the air like that. I don't care what he says, he's old.
Why do you have to be so rude, Max?
You
Just because
know,
he's got someone like
I always
Elisa
did
and you
question that. He can't fly, but he can glide.
Let's go on.
But yeah, in the
Goliath's
show,
gargoyle
I
physiology
do remember
allows
that,
him to
because
glide
like, it's
wherever
such a
he
thing.
pleases, as long as he gets a good takeoff from an elevated point. However, this body makes it
Elevated-
to where he'll turn to stone during the day. Although, this has a hidden bright side, in that it will heal any wounds, like stab wounds and such, assuming his foe doesn't just shatter him when he's stoned.
Not to mention that his skill seems unparalleled in the history of this show's world. He took on Macbeth, who was armed with a mace, and won. Outsmarted the godlike Oberon, helps lead the gargoyles against numerous threats ranging from the supernatural, mystical, and technological, and is even claimed to be the greatest warrior to have ever lived. By Evil Riker's word, anyways.
And I think I can take Xanatos' word on that, seeing how intelligent he usually is. But, as I alluded to with the stone saying, being a gargoyle isn't all it's cracked up to be.
We've already mentioned his weaknesses during the day, but he also has a limit on his endurance in general, and can be distracted by getting too angry.
He also doesn't really have much weaponry aside from his own claws. I mean, he once had the Eye of Odin for a while, but he gave it back and doesn't have it anymore.
Whether he has that or not, what he does have is an indomitable spirit, which allows him to overcome numerous obstacles and prove the worth and heroism of gargoyles to the world.
Alright.
Darkwing's origins are a bit muddled and not looked into much in the series, but one could piece together that even as a kid,
I'm actually
Drake
getting to
Mallow,
learn this.
or Drakey as he was referred to when he was younger, was always interested in being a superhero. In fact, once when he was younger, he saw his older self being Darkwing Duck, and that further inspired him, instead of destroying the universe. Doc Brown would not approve of that.
Since then, he has been the terror that faps in the night, or flaps in the night, sorry. He adopted a daughter named Goslin, and works both to help raise her and as the vigilante Caped Crusader he's known as today.
Unfortunately, Darkwing is not given much respect in his world, either due to being a glory hound or not being serious enough. But no matter how many people put him down, or how many times he gets beaten and bruised, he never gives up and fights to stop evildoers, whether they're ones of electric powers, or it's his evil self from another dimension. Darkwing usually displays great feats of strength, lifting and tossing people around with ease. He can send a metal door flying off its hinges with a kick, and he even cracked metal with his head.
He can endure a lot
Jesus.
just based on that, but that's not all. Given that he survives explosions that break off the tops of skyscrapers, buildings collapsing on him, electric shocks and lightning, lava, fire, and even being rocketed to the moon, circling it a few times, then being sent back to Earth.
Darkwing is also incredibly quick and nimble, able to dart around and catch most foes off guard, as he can usually run great distances in a short amount of time.
Okay.
Darkwing is used to dodging machine gun fire, electric bolts, sound waves, and even magical blasts from Morgana. The duck, not the cat.
He can also keep up with piloting the Ratcatcher motorcycle, which can drive through the entire planet in under 10 seconds. But there's something else that speaks to his durability, but it's so absurd that we have to count it as a separate ability.
You see, Darkwing Duck is a very slapsticky, cartoony show, and so Darkwing himself is no stranger to being ripped apart and mangled, only to come back just fine moments later. He's been reduced to purple goop, and he's had his molecules shredded and rearranged.
He's gonna catch them all because he is Darkwing Duck. He also got turned to dust, and once got his own face ripped off like Felix the Cat, but less gruesome.
Ugh.
Aside from his cartoon body, he's a skilled fighter, and much like another wisecracking duck, he knows quack fu, even having a black belt in it. Plus, he's able to fight all different kinds of enemies with different abilities and skills, ranging from Megavolt to Quackerjack to Negaduck.
While he doesn't like when people don't know him or don't take him seriously, and he does seem like a glory hog, or glory duck, he's ultimately a good guy who wants to help people be safe, is a skilled detective, and even randomly learned molecular biology and chemical engineering at the college major level to cure himself of his overt super speed and rapid aging.
Darkwing can catch on the cases and find his culprit, exposing their plans, showing that he can actually be a good detective when he means to be. He's great at exploiting weaknesses, using the environment to his advantage, and turning a foe's strength into a weakness, or a weakness into a strength. Speaking of strengths, Darkwing has a mighty arsenal at his disposal.
Darkwing Duck's most famous weapon is the multi-purpose gas gun, which can make evildoers suck ass.
Gas, sneezing powder,
Gas.
stink gas.
Wait,
itch powder.
Isn't that so
dirty.
close? Oh dear.
Darkwing really needs to think about his catchphrases before he says them. Okay, but actually with this weapon he can fire gas cartridges, and while the cartridges themselves can smack into his enemies, the gas is used to blind foes when he sneaks around. However, he can replace the normal gas with other kinds, like tear gas, sneezing powder, stink gas, okay Darkwing, and itching powder.
He can also fire things that don't seem to be gas out of this gun, like a grappling hook, a spring-loaded boxing glove, a rocket, a flamethrower, a magnet, a bomb, a glue bomb, and electricity.
His cufflinks also have buzzsaws in them, and acid pellets that make shit melt. Aside from that, he has a fucking Gatling gun and a shotgun, and he can blow your head off if you look at him funny. He would not actually do that, but I'm just saying he could.
Unfortunately, every duck does not have his day. Like when I failed to get that Hot Topic cashier's number, but that's besides the point.
What? Okay, that is in fact a duck not having its day, but Darkwing's main weaknesses stem from his arrogant nature. He usually overestimates himself and what he can accomplish, while underestimating how big a challenge can be. In fact, his arrogance even comes at the cost of him lacking common sense.
You'd also expect a character based on this sort of Batman, Phantom, Shadow archetype to be a bit stealthy. But as a parody, he also usually over-dramatizes things by loudly introducing himself with a monologue. Also, his gas gun can get jammed or overloaded. Something, that sounds weird if you substitute gas for ass.
He wouldn't want that to get jammed either, I'll tell you that. However, even in spite of his imperfections, Darkwing Duck is still able to rise above his problems and fight for what he thinks is right. No matter the situation, Darkwing Duck is always willing to get dangerous.
Because I am the terror that flaps in the night.
Yeah, gotcha.
I am the ingrown toenail on the foot of crime. I am the zit that forms when you've got a really big date. I am the impacted wisdom
All
tooth.
right, Dad, we get the point.
Lurking through the shadows, who can win the night between these two winged warriors?
I suppose there's only one way to find out.
dance in the night. I am the pigeon that drops onto your shoulder. I am Darkwing Duck!
Such disrespect. What is your game here?
I should be asking the same thing, evildoer. You have all the tell signs. Scary claws, giant bat wings, and the howl of a maniac.
I could say the same of you, masked bandit.
Bandit, I'm the hero this town needs, but not the one it deserves.
I don't think that grapple would have worked on him.
Not so fast. See? I got
Okay, yeah, now it's coming to physicality.
Not quite.
Well, no matter. If this guy wants to play rough, I'll play rough. Let's get dangerous.
Right there, come on animation. Oh no, son.
What? I'm in the middle of my flight. No!
Getting tired, are you? Darkwing Duck never gets tired.
No!
Oh boy. Oh, looks like I'll be needing my glue bomb. Don't worry, I can fix it. Yeah.
I should be happy that a duck won, but while I do like Darkwing Duck, I feel really bad for Goliath here. He got shattered.
This must be very embarrassing for him. But it shouldn't be. Darkwing is a very capable fighter, and in this case, he was more suited to win here.
Goliath and Darkwing Duck have a lot of similar feats of endurance, surprisingly. Surviving explosions and lightning, and dodging lightning, magic blasts, and gunfire.
But the fact is, when it comes to their top physical stats, Darkwing actually towers way above Goliath. The truth is, we've been kidding you. We've been hiding the truth from you all along. Darkwing has a calc.
In Dangerous Currency, we get an explicit tie of the DuckTales and Darkwing Duck continuities. If them sharing Launchpad McQuack as a character wasn't enough for you.
So yes, Darkwing scales to Scrooge from the cartoon, and Scrooge once survived his money bin crashing from space back to Earth, igniting a large explosion. Now, according to this calculation here, the money bin should probably weigh 25,817,698,300 kilograms. Basically, it's fucking heavy.
On the low end of things, we could say that this bin is falling at Mach 5 speeds, which would give an energy output of 37 quadrillion, 967 trillion, 830 billion, 547 million, 102,750 joules, or just around 9.1 megatons of TNT, which rounds out to city level.
But if we take the higher end of this feat, which is potentially more accurate, the bin is falling at spacecraft re-entry speed, which is around Mach 22.8, giving an energy output of 790 quadrillion, 53 trillion, 297 billion, 338 million, 15,661 joules.
Jesus.
Or around 188.8 megatons of TNT, which would round up to mountain or large city level. So basically, Scrooge is durable as hell, and Darkwing scales.
So yes, thank you for all of that, Squidly. That makes this fight pretty much unfair. But even without that, it's between two people who've endured a lot of the same things, but only one really has a method to put the other down permanently. Especially so, given Goliath's lack of long-range weaponry and the fact that Darkwing can regenerate from basically being squashed into a puddle, turned to dust, or vaporized.
Goliath, meanwhile, has no such regeneration, and no weapons to help counter it, while Darkwing had options to fight from a distance if needed. Even if they were even in strength, Darkwing's regeneration would keep him coming back until it became daytime, where Goliath could be shattered. While Goliath may have been the better fighter, not only is Darkwing no slouch either, but a lack of direct methods to stop Darkwing is quite the roadblock.
We did not intend for this to be as much of a stop as it was. Sorry, Goliath. We had some fun, though, along the way, right? And ultimately, Gargoyles could come back in some form, too, so it's not like we decide his end for real. But for this fan-made scenario we've concocted, our winner is Darkwing Duck.
Oh, no.
Hello.
Screw me. I did not like how you did that at all. Oh, God.
I will kill you.
Oh, God. I didn't name this one. It's a whole different ballpark. Ooh. My mind, like, I almost felt like the night cycle was shorter. Like, that's crazy to me. But then again, I don't know the full context comparison. And to me, do I feel like there could have been more? Probably not, due to, like they said, with Darkwing having such regeneration, he can't be hurt. He is just a parody, so parody of regeneration is just possible. Gargoyles, I can see that being a problem if the daytime comes back. Yeah, he's very vulnerable. So, in a sense, Darkwing would just try to fight, and then as soon as he turns into a statue, he would just destroy him right then and there on the spot. But yeah. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed that reaction, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all in the next one. Later.